Oops. There you go.
Great way to start a live podcast.
Oh yeah, love it. It's just so you know we're live. Yes, hello and welcome to the Wall of Weird podcast and the latest episode of Superman and Lois. That is episode 5, which is called The Best of Smallville, which is great because we are supposed to be a Smallville podcast, but hey, we'll move along on that. But yeah, anyway, we'll get straight into it. Nicole's going to lead us through this one, as she did with the last one. So, Nicole, take it away.
All right. So we get started with a fun little sequence where we see that Superman has come back and decided to put in extra work, maybe making up a little bit for what was happening last episode. And also we see that they're doing real work on the farm, which we never saw in Smallville.
Yeah,
they're actually harvesting and using the tractor.
Poor Clark.
And
Can you
they're
imagine
getting
how
ready.
tedious that would feel?
Yeah. They didn't use tractors in Smallville. They just fixed them a lot.
Yes, that's true.
Or broke them and threw them through the air. So, yeah.
I think at one point, though, Clark just went through the fields and picked up the corn and then plonked it on at the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, without even using the tractor.
He did do that at one point.
Yeah.
But then we get the family who, I guess Clark decided not to do all the work for everyone. And they're helping to pick the corn by hand, no less. And we have this clip.
Hey, I'm glad she's finally able to come visit.
Look, the Harvest Fest is special, okay? Eliza's gonna love it. You're gonna love it. All of you are gonna love it.
We're going to love it.
I think we're going to
The
love it.
Harvest Festival.
But you know, this is Smallville, sort of. You know that's set up for the major disappointment that's coming. When Clark is happy, bad things are on the way.
Chocolate bacon!
Yes, and
that's delicious.
And Jonathan,
have you literally tried that? Is that actually a thing?
In my town, we had what we called the Bacon Festival. And at the Bacon Festival, one of the things is chocolate-covered bacon. And I tried it out of sheer curiosity. It is surprisingly delicious. It's amazing how the chocolate and the bacon really do complement each other.
Take that Batman shirt off, sir. Take it off right now.
I don't think you want
You've got no business wearing that Batman shirt when you eat chocolate bacon.
Aaron White thinks it's interesting.
Interesting is a word people use when they just want to say you're crazy, but they don't want to be impolite. Anyway, let's try and get on with this show. Nicole, sorry.
Yeah, we also pretty much know that something is not going to go well between Jonathan and his girlfriend, especially because we haven't heard anything about her really, except for she's doing awful well considering I'm not around.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of signposting in this first scene. It's like, and it seems to be a recurring thing in this show already, which is that we start off with a nice family scene in which they're all doing something happy, and then it all goes a bit pear-shaped. I was expecting Superman to get called off to something during this sequence, but
yeah. It's
anyway.
Interesting to see how the whole world is turning upside down for Jonathan. He used to be the star football player. Now he's not. And Jordan is the star football player. Then when he gets broken up with by his girlfriend, that's right when Sarah asks out Jordan, the whole world is turning backwards for Jonathan.
Yes, it's been building and building, and that's what the next scene is that we're at the school, and we have Sarah asking out Jordan to go to the Harvest Festival, and let's show the clip.
Okay, but I will just say that I think you go a bit too far saying that Jordan is the star player. He's really just the guy they bring on to knock people down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
true. But it's
anyway, here's the clip. Here's the clip.
Right.
Like from beginning to end?
That is how I understand the concept of together.
Sarah, let me just speak for my brother here. He would love to go with you. Right.
Jonathan the wingman.
Yeah.
So that
the friend zone is coming, people.
Oh, the friend zone.
Oh yeah, we get that.
We'll get there.
I felt I could feel it. right in this scene, I could feel it was coming. Right from then on, I was like, something's going to happen. This ain't going to go as planned. Everything that's happening in the beginning of this episode is just too good to be true.
But isn't that cool? Because that's what Smallville did, right? If Smallville opened happy and it looked like things are going to go good for Clark, that means...
You mean like proposing to Lana or something like that? Like
proposing to Lana. It means imminent death to Lana, reverse time, imminent death to Jonathan. Holy crap. You know? Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. So, yeah, the better things are for Clark, that means the worst things are going to happen. That was pretty much how Smallville was. The happier he was by midway, if you knew that. Oh boy. So now that we have Jordan going out on a date, what happens to Jonathan?
Hello.
That's not
what was
wrong
that?
clip. That's not what happens to Jonathan. This is what happens to Jonathan.
What are you talking about? Eliza. Hey, Eliza, can we please just talk about this? Okay. Whatever. Yeah, bye.
You know,
that's so way to break up with someone.
It's not just that was telegraphed, but long-distance relationships are already hard. Then you have long-distance relationships between high schoolers. This was a foregone conclusion that this was going to be coming down.
Yep.
Yes, and but it wasn't a very long conversation either. It was just like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's done.
And it sucks that she did it over the phone, but that 45-minute drive to Smallville or 3-hour drive to Smallville, depending on how they want to interpret it, depending on whichever episode, that's probably a little too much to do it in person. And then have to spend the day with them.
I think it's clearly been building. In the chocolate bacon, put it that way.
Clearly. She heard chocolate bacon was on the menu and she was, that's it, I'm out.
You can't knock it until you tried it.
Listen, I like bacon, I like chocolate, but, I like cauliflower and I like jelly. I'm not going to put the two together, okay?
It's not even the same universe.
Cauliflower jelly, that's just like, who would have that?
No, but I don't eat
same
cauliflower,
freaks as chocolate bacon, that's who. Right, anyway. Oh man, this is
yes. So the next scene we have Clark and Lois at home, and Clark is getting a home office ready for Lois apparently, and going through a lot of his mom's stuff, and he's starting to remember things that happened when he was a child, and that's especially this box. Hint, hint. We'll see that later.
Yeah, more signposting.
I was wondering, though, why is he making a home office for Lois? Because she does actually have an office in Smallville at the Smallville Gazette. And so I figured, she's a journalist. So she's either out talking to somebody or she's at the Smallville Gazette. But I was just wondering.
But Lois is one of those people who just works 24 hours a day, though.
That's true.
Soon she gets home at night and she carries on writing her story. So.
Okay, Aaron.
Yeah, you get on the laptop. Garlic in your ice cream. Not in the bedroom. You're not on the. You're not on the kitchen table. Get out there.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's just no.
Yeah, garlic ice cream. Come on,
Aaron.
Garlic
ice cream. You just
But you turned all these other guys back on to chocolate bacon, so good job.
Hey, I haven't eaten bacon for 31 years. Anyway, move on.
Right, next scene. Nicole's struggling as it is to keep this on track. So we need to stop with the chocolate bacon talk and stuff. Come on.
The next scene we have. Lois gets called in to the newspaper office, and we find out that both the Powells are there. The son has reappeared, and the mom is saying, "Oh, that's great. I just want to move on and pretend nothing happened." Let's see what the girls think of this one.
I know. Sharon almost got killed by someone who works for Morgan Edge. Yep. I'm acting like you right now? That's because we both know this is a big story. And we will figure it out, but for now, let's just be happy she got her son back.
And Captain Luthor has found Lois. That is a hint there.
Yeah. He's just outside, isn't he? Kind of.
These are very cool scenes, though, just because the moment you have the sun back, you know it's weird. Like, really, you hit your head in a tunnel and you can't remember anything, and nobody checked your wallet for your ID to call your mom. So you already know, like, there's something incredibly fishy with that. And then
and there was too much detail in it as well.
Yeah.
Like Sharon going on about, and he was found in a church. Oh, and it was St. Anthony's. Sort of like, well, we didn't need to know the name of the church. You're telling a story here. It was just, you're reading it off of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, he was acting weird too. I picked up on that right away. That there was something weird the way he was acting. It wasn't.
Do you think
weird
do you think these guys? This is a theory. Just shooting theories out here now. Do you think because they're talking about resurrection? Do you think these guys are Kryptonians that have been somehow brought out of the Phantom Zone, but they're putting them in human bodies?
I don't know, out of the Phantom Zone or out of that pod. I think that has something to do with that pod.
I didn't think about that theory. But then turning their bodies into Kryptonian-like bodies, with the powers and stuff, it's like, okay, they're doing something with the X-Kryptonite.
Yeah.
But I did not think of the possibility of getting phantoms out of the Phantom Zone to possess the bodies. That is incredibly interesting.
Well, that happened in Supergirl, though, didn't it? Because a lot of the people that ended up in Supergirl were from the Phantom Zone, and they were all after,
See, I gave up on Supergirl.
Yeah,
that's precedent now, though. Set, and that could really be, and that would be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking. I didn't think of the Phantom Zone, but I did think that there were somehow the Kryptonian souls or something in them. But that makes more sense that they're phantoms because, especially in the very last one of the last scenes where he says, "I'm already dead," and him not having memory and all that just kind of reinforced to me that. And have Kryptonian powers.
Jumped away. Eric was definitely dead. Who knows about Leslie? We'll see that later. But I think with the whole experimentation, when you're experimenting, you do it in iterations, and something fails, and you're going to do it again. So, everyone could have. We're just improving the powers as the experiments are going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, with the subject from the previous episode, they only get one power, and then it improves, and they'll get multiple powers. It all depends, on who you are.
Yeah.
And whether we're getting to the metagene theory or,
Because
I think
first guy
it's
Superman
more Kryptonian because we saw strength, we saw someone with heat vision,
Flight.
And this guy had heat vision and flew. And I think he also had strength and some invulnerability as well. Yeah. So I feel like they all have Kryptonian powers. So they're not just random powers like we saw.
Yeah, because it did survive, the missile. Another thing later.
Yeah. Well, he definitely had strength because well, we'll see later. Him and Clark do punch each other as they're flying through the air. So,
so he had Kryptonian powers, and they all have had. So it's not different powers. That's why I didn't think they were metas.
But you see, that's what's making this the most interesting thing so far, is because we don't know what Morgan Edge is doing. There's clearly some Kryptonian meta thing going on with powers, but I'm not sure that Captain Luthor works for Morgan Edge yet. So we got one thing going on with Kryptonian-like powers, and then we got somebody else from another Earth with very interesting motives trying to show the world who Superman really is. So there are two things that are on a collision course, and they're going to converge at some point this season.
See, I can't see Captain Luthor now being in cahoots with Morgan Edge because he hates Kryptonians.
Yes.
Like, if there's one thing we know about this guy at the moment, it's that he hates Kryptonians. There's no way he's going to align himself with someone in order to kill Superman. And knowing that person is already in cahoots with a bunch of other Kryptonians, he'd want to wipe them all out. So I don't think they're in cahoots. I think it's just two separate things that are going on.
But somehow they will collide.
Converge.
Yeah.
I originally did think they were in cahoots, but after this episode, I agree that they are not. But I don't think they're two separate things. I think they're still very connected, because I think what happened on the other Earth was similar to where you had a bunch of Kryptonians that he was fighting. I don't think it was just
So
Superman,
do you think the meteor
Superman
shower
led them over there?
That meteor shower like 2 episodes ago, do you think that could have been parts of the other Earth after that universe was destroyed, raining in, and that maybe that's one of the things that's going to connect things?
They could be the same Kryptonians that destroyed his planet, and now they've come through to this. And maybe that's how they got here. Maybe they had to come through to this universe as phantoms of some kind, and now that's why they're possessing human bodies. And then, so I reckon at some point Luthor might end up having to fight these guys, and Superman will end up being on his side because these guys are clearly evil. And then Luthor will be like, okay, Superman ain't so bad after all. But who knows? It's all theorising. It's all nonsense. We're not even on to scene 5 yet. Let's
do it. Let's go to scene 5. Let's go.
16 minutes in, and we're only on scene 5.
Yeah. Well, you pretty much. I wanted to say the same thing. That's what you were saying, but I had the same thought. But we'll move on to scene 5, where we have donations coming in for the, apparently part of the Harvest Festival is they give away things to the needy. So people are donating things. We have the Powells show up, and then something happens to Derek. Brian, what is it?
Hello? Are you there?
That was a pretty cool fire effect. I thought the fire was really well done.
That reminds me so much of Zod from Man of Steel. That almost legitimizes that theory that he's possessed by a Kryptonian phantom trying to get used to this body with these powers.
Not to mention, again, I know we keep jumping forward, but that fight between him and Clark later on, when they're flying through the cornfield, hitting each other, is right out
hit
of
the silos. I was just going, stop.
And it even has the same music, very similar sounding music. If you listen to the score that undercuts that scene, it was proper Man of Steel.
Shows you Man of Steel as a classic, no matter what people say.
Zod overtones, Man of Steel,
Yes.
I picked that one up,
Okay.
But
so we
plus,
can move on.
As I mentioned before, Derek has just seen Lana, so that's why I might got his heat vision.
Yes. If we go with the Smallville theory, then maybe he thought she was a little pretty, shot some fire.
You see Lana, you're shooting fire out of your eyes.
With what happened with Jordan in the pilot, I don't think that heat vision is connected to sexual feelings, more emotional state.
I agree with that.
And he did seem like he was in a difficult emotional state for some reason during the donation when he was there. He was having.
Oh, definitely.
So I have a new theory.
It's just funny that it happens to be Lana that.
Devin's got a theory.
I got a new. I want to run it by you guys. I said it in my spoiler talk, so I'll be curious what your thoughts are on this theory.
Yeah, that's it.
So Jordan emotional state, yes. So I 100% agree. In his emotion, she shot fire. But when Jor-El measured his body and all that stuff, he's like, you can't hold enough charge. Here's my thing. I'm thinking, what if instead of absorbing the sun, it's the X-Kryptonite? Because he was on a mine on top of a bunch of X-Kryptonite. What if he's absorbing whatever energy it has naturally, and thus it gives him that ability? And that's why Jor-El couldn't measure it, because he's measuring the way he would measure Clark. He's looking for solar stuff, and he's getting it from the X-Kryptonite. What if?
Jordan's powers are almost similar to what's happening with all these other people.
It is true. Yes, only he's more natural because he is half Kryptonian, so that might help him a bit, and that's why it might be less death-defying for him. But that's a theory that I developed watching this episode, thinking, what if that is Jordan's source of power? And what if maybe Jonathan does have power, and maybe he just needs to be around the yellow stuff more? Throwing it out there.
If that is the case with Jordan, and Morgan Edge somehow finds out, then they're probably going to want to take him and test him and do all kinds of things with him to transfer that ability over to these test subjects. So, who knows? We're writing this series, guys.
We're great writers. I love it.
Although, He had the invulnerability before he touched.
Who had what invulnerability?
When he fell down and the pipes fell on him.
Yeah, okay, that's why this is a theory, because there's still holes. But it's something that I wonder, though, because, like, it was extra powerful because the ocular release, as they call it, what a horrible name, that's a pretty powerful thing. Like, that is storing energy and then shooting it out. So, like, that's what I'm curious about. So you could be 100% right, and that is an excellent point, but it still could be.
Mercenary
X84, heat vision, worst power for humans to have.
Yes.
I don't like it. Comes in handy at barbecues or for bonfire night, you know.
It's not good for human flesh, though, is it?
No. If you're Smallville Lana and you look at yourself in the mirror, that's danger right there. And if you are Jordan and you're really ticked at the bully, he's fried. You know, it just depends.
Well, you have to be able to control it.
That's true.
It's very dangerous if it's uncontrolled. It probably is the most dangerous uncontrolled ability.
Yes, 100%.
Although strength could be very dangerous as well, uncontrolled.
Well, you know what? Superman is very dangerous. It's a good thing he's a good dude.
So the next scene sees a flashback, I believe, yes.
Yes, the next scene we have the flashback. We have young Clark, which we'll talk about that later. We have a Martha and Clark together. And we find out that he apparently just maybe recently broke up with Lana at this flashback. And she's seen the Cushing guy who she eventually marries. And then he hears through his super hearing that someone's robbing someplace. And he shoots off. He wears a ski mask. And let's see what happens.
Message.
Put it back.
So here's what I liked about that. It looked awesome. But here's what I didn't like about that. Because it's easy to tie Superman to Smallville and then you can figure out who he is. Even though he had his face covered, it's like that's extreme power that has been displayed. And I liked how the show Smallville made, and since this is a Smallville podcast, I could do this, how the show Smallville made a very strong attempt that Clark was trying to keep what he can do a secret. Even if he was in plain sight, he had to move fast so people couldn't see it. So I kind of like
he didn't much
Go ahead.
In Smallville, Clark did display his abilities in front of the villains quite frequently.
There were those moments, they lost their memory, or
also you have to assume also that this is the world that we're living in Superman and Lois has meta-humans, has super-humans, they already know about all this stuff, so there's no guarantee that this kid
when did the
Flash know about it at this point?
To Superman? That's what I was wondering, because there was no Flash running around when he was a kid.
What year do you think this is, actually?
Flash has only been 7 years, right?
Yeah, Flash was only 7 years.
It does look pretty young, because I was thinking, am I old, or did we really have 32-inch TVs back when Clark was that young? They mentioned VCRs, but
the thing is,
32-inch tellies?
It still doesn't necessarily tie him to Smallville. This could be just some dude passing through. It could be. It's like if this kid was in Smallville, great. Superman's in Metropolis. Good luck tracking down someone who wears a ski mask.
But see, I don't take this as a one-time event. I assume he's done the ski mask thing multiple times. And again, it's not like to me, this is like a minor thing, and it's barely a pet peeve because the scene is freaking awesome. I'm just saying, like, even though, you're right, yes, Clark showed his abilities to his villains often in the show Smallville, but there was still this attempt to keep everything under wraps. And
you know what I loved about the scene? You know what I loved about the scene is that Clark didn't grab one of the goons and chuck him 20 feet across the alleyway
into a dumpster.
It's like, into a dumpster. Yeah, it's just like, because that would be his usual MO if this was Smallville. He'd come in there and say, "Whoa!"
And Mark really had to go into being a masked vigilante as well. She told him off. What's this masked vigilante thing? Yeah, reprimand. So she must have heard about it, maybe.
I don't know. This young Clark was.
Did Clark tell Martha that he did that, or did she hear it on the news or the radio?
It seems she knew.
Well, she knew he zoomed out of there, right? I mean,
yeah.
He was having a conversation and then boom, he was gone.
Yeah.
So she probably heard about the vigilante thing going on.
All we need to know is that
dude
she
is
knows.
really
I mean, she could have found the mask in his pocket whilst doing his laundry, for all we know. It's just like, yeah. But
yeah, he's a small dude, though. I'm gonna say that.
But I like that though because it shows. Because I've always wondered that about Superman. Would he really have muscles? Because he can't exactly work out. He's naturally that strong by the power of the sun. So I've always kind of wondered that. So it's kind of cool to see because I was such a tiny kid in high school myself. So it was cool to see somebody that tiny pack that much power. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's just from someone who's used to watching Smallville, a little hard to grab onto.
Don't you mean for someone who's used to thirsting over Tom Welling? That was a bit hard to grab onto. Oh no, he actually looks like a teenager and not a 27-year-old.
Definitely not thirsting over this kid. No, that's not happening.
Oh man!
And so you shouldn't. You shouldn't be thirsting over any kid who's still in high school.
You're right. And that's why they don't usually use
which is why it's unrealistic.
That look like they're,
hey, let's use a 24-year-old model to play 14.
That are teenagers to play teenagers.
Later on, he does leave Smallville, so I am wondering what age he was when this was on.
He's probably 17 or 18.
So he said he was a couple years older than his kids are now. Supposedly his kids are freshmen. So at most they're 15, so he was like 17. But so did he not finish high school? I don't know.
Let's just assume that he did
get his journalism degree if he didn't finish high school. Yeah.
We're half an hour in, guys.
But the next scene we have the building on fire.
I'll just get to the clip, shall I?
So Clark was busy, thinking about this and was a little bit late to what was going on with the fire. So let's take a look at that. That was pretty well done. I liked it.
I think so. Yeah.
And we had Kyle being the hero going in there to go get his buddy out.
Yeah. See, Kyle is a good dude, but he's got some really bad habits and is pretty rough around the edges.
He's just got issues, hasn't he? He's just got a lot of issues.
Which I feel bad because, especially his alcoholism, he needs to figure out how to overcome that because we see the toll that that's having on his family. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit, but
so when he used the Arctic breath, that's just really cold. So is it just the water vapor that's freezing?
Yeah, because he said, "Oh, it looks like it's frozen." When he touches it later, and there's a whole how did the fire start?
When you blow air and you have small lips and you blow it through small lips, the air comes out cooler. When you blow air with a more open mouth, it's warm. So when he has his really small lips and doing that, I'm guessing it's coming out at sub-zero temperatures. I guess that's what they're going for with Arctic breath.
Well, it's sub-zero, yes, but maybe just the moisture from his mouth caused because there has to be.
If you look at.
This is comics. Why are we debating on
exactly. I know we shouldn't talk about the physics.
I want to know the science, damn it! I want to know the science.
He flies, Brian. He wears tights and he flies.
There was something in Tenet. I was trying to remember the thing in Tenet because there's a thing in that where
I haven't seen that movie.
You're not?
No, I've not seen it yet.
Best film of last year. There was something in that where a fire gets turned to ice, and I can't remember the science behind it, but I was wondering if it had some kind of application to to this, but it doesn't matter. It's superpowers.
He wears tights and he
can
flies.
freeze
All right, we'll
fire.
move on.
Yeah.
Keep us on track.
To the Kent farmhouse. And so you have Clark telling Lois that he saw Sharon there, and so that was suspicious because they already know something might be up with them. And then Jordan tells them that Jonathan just got dumped, and we have Lois go to comfort him with this.
Gotta give it some time. She might wake up and remember how incredible you are. And if she doesn't, then it's her loss.
Well, thanks for your Cosmo Girl opinion, but honestly, I just want to be left alone.
I love that line. It's hilarious.
Stop reading Cosmo, Mom.
But I like what this sets up.
Typical.
Because they start taking these flashbacks of Clark as a youth, and not just be fan service for us to see Clark young, but it really shows us Clark gets what Jonathan is thinking, feeling, and is going through. So they really do a good job with this setup.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I like how the two stories parallel each other, Clark's path and what Jonathan's going through.
Yep.
And he's being a typical teenage boy about it.
Yes, he is. Well, breakups suck. That's why I got married.
No, I agree with that. That's why you got married.
That's the sole reason I got married, people. The sole reason I got married.
Because people never break up after they get married. That never happens.
Yeah. Is Laura going to give you points for that?
Laura always gives me brownie points.
Oh boy. Well, so since Lois found out, she wanted to go and do some investigating into that fire and see what Kyle knew. Kyle's having a hard time with what just happened with his buddy Mitch, and we have this little clip.
Tom Mitchell.
I met him at your barbecue. Nice guy.
He's the best man at my wedding. Probably the bravest person we got on this crew.
Yeah, he also says that he has this the strangest thing how the fire started and how it was put out. And I wanted to make a comment. I noticed that when Clark went to go put out the fire, he didn't put on his Superman suit. Do you guys know why?
I'm guessing his intent was to stay in the shadows, so it's not like Clark Kent and Superman are suddenly making appearances together in Smallville. That would be my guess.
Yeah, he's trying to keep Superman on the down low. He doesn't want anybody. He doesn't want to draw attention to Smallville. All of a sudden. Why is Superman in Smallville all of a sudden? What's
at the beginning of the episode? There was all the scenes about Superman going global.
Around the world.
They lifted up the ship. Did you get vibes from Batman vs Superman?
Yeah.
It
was awesome.
Yeah. So it's like
So. And then you have Kyle saying he doesn't know how this happened, but doesn't everyone in the world know about Superman's powers? I mean, haven't they seen him?
Well, they have, but also think about the fact that we had a flashback where you have a Superboy in a ski mask swatting a bullet. So there is this degree that suddenly if Superman and Clark are in Smallville together, it might increase people going, well, wait a minute. Do you remember the miraculous stuff that happened back in the day, and now Clark is here and Superman is here?
Yeah, I just think that
together in identity in Smallville.
Yeah.
No, I'm wondering what Kyle's thinking here.
Clark just needs to distance Superman. Like, I think Kyle is just thinking, what the hell has happened here? I don't think he's necessarily going to make the connection to Superman, because you got to remember this is a small town. Like, Superman is Metropolis. He doesn't generally come hanging out in Smallville. And I feel like up until recently, with Morgan Edge coming in, this has been a place about harvest festivals and cornfields. It's like, I feel like this is just one of those unexplained.
Superman's not going to get involved in a little local fire.
He's not going to be around all the time, like stopping all the little tiny things that happen in Smallville. I mean, we see that from the first few episodes when Lois talks about how, when she apologises to the Gazette owner for being dismissive of the small town, and that kind of says it all, right?
What's the name? It's not Martha. What's the name?
Bippy Boppy Boo. What is it?
Should be Chloe Sullivan, so I'm going to call her Chloe.
It should be Chloe, shouldn't it? Why did they missed a trick with
I think
that
it's
one?
Chrissy
Why not make her Chloe?
Beppo or whatever.
Yeah. Chrissy Beppo, yeah. They should have called her Chloe. But yeah, I think as far as Superman in Smallville goes, Clark is going to do his damnedest to not make that, not allow people to make that connection, and that's why he hides. He does things from because he can't help himself. He's still got to help people.
And Lois changed his thought stream really quick when she asked, well, how's your friend doing? And then then that kind of took over.
Yeah. That's not to say that this is something that's going to go away, though.
Yes. I think just for now they're distracted. Yeah.
This could be the thing that kind of kickstarts a storyline with Kyle, in which he then has to find out what
this guy was his best man at his wedding.
Yeah.
And now he's not going to be allowed back onto the into the fire force because of his lung damage. It's certainly going to knock him.
Yeah, so Lois calls Chrissy to let her know that Derek was around, because that's what Kyle told her, that, Derek ran out the back. And then we have the scene with Captain Luther and Lois, where Luther is trying to weasel his way into Lois's life. Let's take a look at the clip.
So glad you said life.
I just want to be on Team Lois.
Not sure I have much of a roster these days.
Still have Superman.
I can see you all down here at the bottom. I suddenly saw the cogs turning with Nicole, and the cogs are turning, then it clicked. It's like, oh man. Yeah, anyway.
This moment is great in hindsight, and we'll talk about it later, but knowing what we know later, it makes this scene, I don't know if it makes it more creepy or what, but it's definitely better with hindsight.
Yes.
Yeah, we know a little bit more of his motivation after what we see later.
Yeah.
I thought that he was just trying to get more information about Superman.
Exactly, I did too.
But apparently he had much more motivation than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So next we have Chrissy and a scene with
Jonathan.
Chrissy and Sharon.
Jonathan blows up.
I think that's after. Unless you guys didn't get to see that scene. Maybe that's the scene.
I may not have had that scene. I've got scene 10.
There's a little
is the
scene
one
with Chrissy and Sharon, who they're searching for Derek because she came in, she can't find her son. And so she looks for the phone. She looks at the phone and says, "Oh, I'm going to go." She uses the GPS on the phone to locate.
Isn't this scene ageist?
Son.
It's making fun of her for being an older lady who cannot figure out how to do a Find My Phone feature, and the young girl gets on there, does it in 2 seconds.
Yes, go.
Yeah, so we did have that scene, but we just don't have a clip for it. So that's all.
Yes. So then the next scene, things finally boil over with Jonathan, and he blows up at Clark. Let's see it.
I'm probably never going to play football again, and now what? You just expect me to drop my life for everyone else's?
Look, I know. A lot has changed, but I promise you, it's all going to work out.
You don't know that.
And he calls Smallville his kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't get why he says I will probably never play football again. I thought he was happy with Jordan being there, so I was confused by that statement because it's not like he's injured or kicked off the team.
Yeah, he's feeling ostracized from the team, though, isn't it? He's because he was happy with Jordan being there in the last episode because he feels like it's his brother. He wants to do right by him and stuff. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't still wear on him, especially when he's not really getting the attention that he once did, and he's not even being allowed on the field. If you look at like last episode when the coach says Kent, and then he starts to go up and he's like, the other one. And it's like, so if that's like if that is now a regular thing, if that's now something that is happening every game, then it's going to be a constant wears me down.
I'm actually impressed with how Jonathan's holding it all together. He's had everything, put against him. Eliza's dumping him. He's moving to Smallville. He's off the team and everything else. Yeah. He's really holding it together, and he's really giving support still to Jordan.
Yeah. Let's not forget as well that it's like the catalyst for this is really Eliza dumping him.
Yeah.
Like I think
it's the final straw.
Yeah, like often when something bad happens, you brush it to one side, you make the best of it. Something bad happens, you brush it aside, you make the best of it. Then finally something bad happens, and then all that other stuff you brushed aside suddenly comes back, and you think, you know what, forget this, and it's like, so I think that's what's happening here, really.
Yeah, it was the final straw that broke the camel's back. And we knew it was coming, and it's totally understandable. I mean, everything. So what's interesting about the football thing is, first of all, they're playing completely different positions, so it's not like the brothers are competing against each other for time on the field. But for some reason, he went from being a star quarterback on a great team, and now you go to the Smallville team, and supposedly he's not good enough to be their quarterback, like the other quarterback that's already there. The team hasn't really accepted him into the
but they have done with Jordan, haven't they?
Yeah.
Did we miss out?
So then we get another flashback.
Did we miss out what?
Go ahead, Lisa.
Where Clark's sort of really super happy about Jordan having a first date, and he's going,
oh yeah, that was such a great moment.
Yeah. Wasn't that at the start of that one? I was there.
I think so.
Yeah, that was at the start. You're right. That was.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, you've got first date. Whoa.
I do love those moments like that, though, with Clark. Those are so, like, where he's excited about the Harvest Festival and where he's excited that Jordan has a date. Like, I love those little moments with Clark.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
that's fun. So then we have another flashback. And then we get a little bit more information about what's kind of going on timeline, because we find out that it's been after Jonathan's death. And Martha does not want him, and I guess Jonathan said that he wasn't to be a vigilante. So we have a clip for this.
Dad understood. He knew I was sent here for a reason.
Your father and I both knew you were sent here for a reason.
Well, I'm pretty sure that reason wasn't to be Martha Kent's son.
Oh, teenagers. Oh, teenagers. I pulled that on my dad once, and I said, you're not my father. And this is when they were re-releasing Star Wars, and they redid the graphics, and I wanted to go see it. He goes, well, then, I guess I don't have to take you to see the movie. I apologized really fast.
Right, if I can put in here, this as, we sent you here for a reason. So it's like Smallville, Superman and Lois, and obviously Man of Steel. You were sent here for a reason.
Yes.
You know it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I guess they didn't want him helping people for this.
I don't know if they didn't want him helping people. I think...
No, you're sent here for a reason. You've just got to mature.
You're sent here for a reason, but he also said, she was yelling at him for being a vigilante, and that was one of the rules. And then he's like, well, Dad's not here anymore, so...
Yeah,
but if you think about Jonathan, the rules are always he doesn't want him to give away his abilities, right? Like
that's
people
what it
know.
is. It's not that he doesn't. It's not that he doesn't want him helping people. It's that he doesn't want him going around wearing a sign on his chest and drawing attention to himself and saying,
You mean like
hey!
he does later?
Well, yeah. I just mean at this age, like that might be the path for him later. But right now, wearing a ski mask and going around as a 16-year-old boy and nailing people is probably not the best idea if you don't want to draw attention to yourself.
Vibes there with his
that makes sense. Back to what Durbin was saying earlier, right? He wasn't exactly being very stealth about it.
No, yeah. I mean, imagine a 16-year-old with godlike powers running around the streets. Nobody wants that.
Yeah. Teenagers are bad enough without powers.
Never mind Dracula emissions. Nocturnal emissions.
Oh no! You've just made it worse. Ocular emissions. Oh, that's even worse. No. Oh man, that creates the worst image in my head.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we have another scene. What's the next scene?
All right, the next scene is Kyle coming home after drinking with his buddies and let's see the scene.
Have you been drinking?
Yeah, me and Tamara and the boys, I mean, we went out and had a drink in his honor.
Smells like you had a little more than one.
Yeah, so this was a huge hint that this was a problem. That this, wasn't like a normal thing for him to go out and get drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, I should say it was a normal thing, and apparently he looks like he's an alcoholic. The way that Lana reacted, and Sarah later as well. This is a big problem. So that I guess he's probably not supposed to be drinking at all. And this kind of sent him off on a little bit of a binger. Came home drunk.
Yeah. And it sets up for Sarah's reaction later, and why Sarah would be reacting the way she reacts because of this established pattern in the Cushing house that is part of her distress and what she doesn't like about her home
when he's
life.
on the sofa,
Yeah. And you also pick up, I think, from Kyle, the actor who plays Kyle, so which clues us into, he actually gives a good performance here. I think you pick up a sense of like feeling guilty from it. He doesn't snap back at Lana. It's more of a wound. It's more of a wounded dog kind of reaction. Like he knows he's done wrong. He knows he's let her down, and he's just like, "Yeah, I got nothing." And he just so he hits the couch. But I think he plays that pretty well.
I do too.
Yeah, but
so the next scene we have,
Sarah goes on about what he's watched with the meth thing and stuff.
Oh yeah. Guys, people been burning down houses doing meth.
Yeah, so you've got to relate to Kyle because he's gone through shit and he's seen stuff.
Yeah.
That
I've had 2 family members in the hospital with dire things, and it's awful. So it's like I could understand Kyle's pain and his need to numb it. But it sucks because since this is an established pattern in his life, this cannot be the thing that he does to take care of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. The next scene we have Derek and Leslie making out, apparently.
Woohoo!
Which was interesting. And then they go and he's complaining that he's having a hard time controlling himself. And he said he's worried about someone finding out. And I think that it was Morgan Edge, but you guys can say what you think. And then they go in, he goes into where we see.
You said Derek and Leslie making out, and I'm like, Leslie and Leslie making out? What was that? That wasn't a Derek and...
Well, they were kissing.
Yeah.
Oh, the 2 Kryptonians who aren't Kryptonians but really are Kryptonians.
Yeah,
right.
Yes. Okay, I got you.
Listening,
yes.
watching them.
Yeah, no, they definitely got a little thing going on. We don't know how serious or not serious, but it's enough to make the eyes burn. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, so they put him into the machine, and we see the pod that we saw from the other episode. That was definitely the same pod there, as well as the ex-kryptonite.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
And then we get another flashback.
What I liked about that scene is Blippy Bloppy Beppo. I like that she's Chloe. I like that Chloe's really chasing down the leads here. It's really doing away with the whole, she might be a bad guy theories now. But
that's coming. That's my.
I've got to say, I had a sneaking suspicion she was going to get taken out in this episode. When she turned up at that factory, when she's on the phone to Lois and she's telling her the information, what she's just seen. And she's doing it in her car, right outside the building that she's just seen all this stuff in. I was literally expecting, as soon as she hangs up that phone, one of those is going to be at the window. They're going to smash it through and drag her ass out. And then that's it. That's going to be the last to see of her. And I was like, no!
I thought so too. Good thing they either don't have super hearing or were too busy lip locking to notice somebody was spying and calling the newspaper.
My next fear
I was expecting her to get caught too.
My next fear is that Chrissy gets a blast of ex-kryptonite, turns bad, and
that would be tragic.
Chrissy goes bad.
Ooh. I hope not. I like her. But that
You
would
can
be a
keep
tragic
those
twist.
theories to yourself. Thank you very much.
One of the things that I do like about her is what would Lois do next?
Yes, what was
Did
that?
you get that?
WWL. Wait, what
Yeah.
was it? WWLD or something?
Yeah,
that she
so,
said.
So
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
is good. Chris is good at that point. Yeah.
Hmm.
Gosh, you know.
Yeah.
Just like we had, you know, on Smallville with Clark doing the Lois reporting things. Yeah.
Yep.
What would Lois do next?
Yeah.
He's got her list of rules. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can frame them.
He did frame them.
So the next scene is that Jonathan drinking.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
The next one is
Nope.
young Clark. Yeah. So we have young Clark again, and this is when Martha presents the box to him. Let's look at that.
Oh yeah. Crystal.
We don't have. Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay.
16.
We've missed some out then.
Uh-oh.
Because we've got Jonathan drinking before that.
Well, then let me describe it. Martha walks into the room with a box, an heirloom of the family. And as she hands it to Clark and slowly opens it inside.
Hang on, I'll show that clip. Let me just show that clip.
I just know it belongs to you. And it might be the key to figuring out what your future is.
I think my
See,
clips
when you
were
tell
out
me
of
you
order,
don't
sorry.
have it, I describe it.
I said I didn't say I didn't have it. I just said it's not. That's not the next one because before that we've got Jonathan drinking, and then we've got Sarah. And
You're right. I
Sarah
must have screwed up the numbers there. My bad.
It happens.
Okay.
But yeah, did you guys notice it was red?
It looked like Red K. Yeah, it looked like Red K.
Yes, Red K. Yeah.
It really bothered me. I said that's red kryptonite. Why is he not like turning into something?
But it was also the same crystal in the premiere that popped out of the ship and was given to Jordan, which we have not returned to that. Jordan has his own crystal, and we have not returned to that yet. Anyway.
Also,
But it looks more orange there.
But any red. Sorry, I'll say that again. Any red kryptonite that came with Kal-El in the ship would not be irradiated, so it wouldn't affect him. The only red kryptonite.
So when does it get irradiated?
The explosion
when
right?
Krypton blows up.
Yeah.
So when Krypton blows up, it irradiates all the fragments that go out into space, eventually crash land on Earth in various points, and because it's been irradiated. But any kryptonite that was with, because like green kryptonite that was with him on his ship would not affect him because it had just been normal Krypton rock to him. It's not been irradiated by the destruction of the planet.
I thought it was the yellow sun's radiation on the meteor rock that created it, that made it like that.
No, I always understood it to be the explosion of the planet itself.
Like the core, like we can't be near plutonium, and that's the Kryptonian version of plutonium.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always thought it had to do with the sun.
It might. The sun might make it worse. Who knows?
Maybe a combination of the
For
two.
some reason, the
Cut
red
me off.
one, maybe it was in a lead box. I don't know. That was the first thing I thought when I saw that crystal, though.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Clark left, because he didn't quite jump on a Harley because he wasn't old enough. But he went all red K and was like, "That's it, I'm out of here."
Harley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. We have a very, very short little they introduced the Harvest Festival with Lana and some guy named Cobb, and she's just saying that Kyle's staying home. He's not going to come.
We missed the scene, didn't we, with Sarah seeing Kyle on
No, that's
the couch.
next. So, yep. Sarah's next. So 15 would be next. Then we'll do 14.
Okay, that's so confusing. Right. Okay.
Sorry. I did that too fast. Yeah. Now I'm all confused. Okay, so we have the scene with Kyle and Sarah. Yep. So let's take a look at that one.
Un par de ojitos negros. Cielito lindo de contraste.
Stop!
Yeah, whoa. This was obviously not the first time that he's been drunk around her.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's tainting a childhood memory, the lullaby or song he used to sing to her. He's trying to make up for it in a drunken state, and it's making it worse.
Yeah. It's like, you used to sing that to me when you were sober, biatch. Get sober, and then you can sing it to me again. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what's going on there. But...
Yeah, and we also, at the Harvest Festival, we'll play this one where Jordan is, it seems like Jordan and Sarah are getting along. They're going to have some chocolate-covered bacon. Or actually, no, she said not to have that. Mm-hmm. And then Jonathan meets up with some guys, and let's play the clip.
I need to make sure I'm playing the right clip here. Is this the Jonathan drinks one? Or
14. Should be 14.
They're all over the
Sure,
place.
that's a good idea tonight.
Thanks for looking out, Mom. Why don't you go find Sarah?
No, peer pressure. Trying to be popular with the cool kids and drown
peer
out
pressure,
your sorrows.
Kids. Stay away from peer pressure, kids.
Yes.
Does you no good.
No, Mercenary X84 says this episode made me hungry. I agree. I would love some chocolate-covered bacon right now.
Sorry, Brian. It was my fault. I said that I messed up here with the order. But
okay.
Yeah, so he's probably drinking for more than one. I don't think it's just so that he fits in. I think that he's
it's because he's also feeling
he's drowning his sorrows. He's drowning his sorrows. Yeah.
He's starting the same bad habit that Kyle has been in.
That's all. It's how all drunken bums start. All drunken bums start by drowning their sorrows. Before you know it,
out in the open at the Harvest Festival.
Yep.
Okay. And why would you do that if your dad is Superman? Yeah, we get this fun little scene a little bit later, but seriously, if your dad is Superman and has super smell, come hell or high water, you cannot get the smell of alcohol enough away from you for your dad to find out. It's not going to happen. Gosh.
Yeah, I think at the time he just doesn't care. At the time,
well, that's true. Yes.
He's being rebellious, isn't it? That's the whole point. Is that he's being rebellious?
Yeah.
He's saying, "Screw it! I'm going to do something that I wouldn't normally do because what the hell?"
The thing is, with Jonathan, we're all feeling for him because, he's butt and tail of everything else.
Yeah. He basically gets crapped
on
all the
time. Everything else, and his brother's got the superhero powers.
Not only does he get crapped on, but he always does the right thing to the people that seem to be doing the crapping on him. So,
yeah, he's usually the mature one, trying to follow the rules, and he's really, you can see how bad a spot he's in. That he's the one rebelling here and doesn't care, and then. We have Jordan and Sarah have a nice little moment. Jordan's happy in this, which is unusual. Jordan is happy in this episode. And then Sarah's like, things aren't so great with me. What's going on at home is really starting to bother her. And then Jonathan shows up drunk. And let's see Sarah's reaction.
He sobers up pretty quick, though.
Turns into a douchebag.
Maybe he doesn't drink that much, maybe enough that he's buzzed, but not enough that he's drunk.
Here's douchebag Jonathan. Douchebag drunken Jonathan.
Wow. You can't go one weekend without partying like idiots? It's kind of pathetic.
Sarah, hey, look, you need to
Don't
relax.
touch
Hey,
me.
we're just kidding.
Don't talk to me like that.
That's her dad she's yelling at right there. The way he's talking, that's her dad, and that's
subtext, people. Subtext.
Yes.
That's great writing.
Yeah, it's great how they paralleled again here with Kyle and Jonathan and Sarah.
Yep.
She just totally blew up at Jonathan.
Yeah.
But
it's a well done scene because it really does show you her struggles at home. It really does show Jonathan, even though this might be his first time getting drunk, it's definitely his first time getting drunk with these kids. She's hearing the same excuses from him that she always hears from her dad. And so it's the pattern that's beginning with Jonathan that she's lived in for years with her father.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So then we have Lois and Clark. They're walking down at the Harvest Festival, and Clark is letting Lois know that Jonathan wants to move to Metropolis to be with his friend. You know, just like in Smallville, how somehow her guardian just let her live with some other person. But, and then
we
Clark
had that
could smell Jonathan as he was walking towards him, and he knew that he was drunk. So let's play that.
You've been drinking?
What?
Your dad can smell it. I can smell it. The whole town can smell it.
It's not that big a deal.
Excuse me?
Okay, both of you, call a rideshare and go home right now.
Excuse me? I love that.
I like.
It's a little hard to drink when you have your father has super smell.
Yeah, definitely. Again, this is one of those things that I like about just the character of Superman in general. That we one of the big draws for me with Smallville as well is just the sense of morality that the Kents have, and just that family dynamic there. Like I feel like teenage drinking these days, I don't know how it is over in the US, but certainly in the UK, it feels like it's not that big a deal anymore to find a bunch of teenagers drinking. And that bothers me. That, like, why isn't that a big deal? And I like the fact that to Clark and Lois, this is a big deal. Yeah. So
I think that it's that a lot that it's known that a lot of teenagers drink, but I don't think that a lot of parents approve of it. Although there are some that
you've obviously not seen a lot of British parents.
Like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But it depends. It really depends. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, and I agree. I look around. But on the other hand, you have to think about it. So one thing about drinking. One problem with not letting teenagers drink at all is that when they're teenagers, kind of like driving, where it's more dangerous for teenagers to drive, but at least you still have some control over their life. You still have control over the keys. You could have, when they can go out and all who they're going out with, and control over the situation. If they don't do it at all, and then they hit 18 and they leave the house, and then all of a sudden they're just like, okay, now I'm going to go and binge drink. So there is that element to think about. But at the same time, I think that it needs to be shown or discussed with them what is appropriate drinking, even as an adult, and modeling that, and not necessarily just encouraging drinking of teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
We just
drinking off teenagers. Just pour myself a teenager. Away we go.
All right, doesn't know
that in the UK though. In the UK, the drinking age is 18.
Yeah.
Driving is 17.
Yeah.
And so
drinking is 18, huh?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 21 here, but I'll say that once most kids get to college.
Well,
I didn't drink, but there were lots that did.
I went with a couple of friends to. We did a tour. We went to Vancouver, and I was there with girls who were 20, 21, 19 and stuff. And it was great. And then trying to go to Seattle for the weekend. We couldn't drink. We got invited to the University of BC. We could have a party, everything else. But it's just weird. Seriously.
All right.
Anyway, move on.
We'll move it on.
I won't go on about in some states that you can get married and have kids when you're 14, but you can't have a drink. Okay. Right, move on.
So Lois gets a call from Chrissy Chrissy tells her what's going on with with Derek. And it just kind of took, I think, even Lois off guard.
You've been drinking.
You know.
Sorry.
Clark just zoom as soon as he heard. He shows up and he goes to confront them, and that's when we see Derek fly. And let's show some of the sequence here.
Boom.
And you got the best part of the sequence. And I love it, not just because of the Man of Steel feel and overtones, but yet again, it feels cinematic. It doesn't feel like a CW show with a CW budget. That felt like I'm watching a Superman film.
Yeah.
Right, can I ask,
epic.
Was it the Clark barn?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought at first. I was like, has he just trashed Clark's barn? And then like, no, I just think it's some random ass barn.
No,
in the middle
I think so too.
I'm pretty sure it was his farm. And they did it.
Really? That would suck.
Because
I mean,
it's
it
like
sucks
going,
no matter whose farm.
Kal-El. It's like, I know who you are. I'm trashing your barn and I'm
but
calling
this would
you out.
be the first public appearance of Superman in Smallville, right?
Mm?
Well, is it? Because
it's night and nobody's seeing it, but
exactly, that's what I mean.
It
because
could be on the news. He's not hiding here.
But technically, he rocked up at that hotel and had a bit of a fight with that other super guy, you know, who took it out.
Subject 11 or whatever it was.
Yeah, the one that Laura ended up burning to bits. So it's just like so he has been in Smallville in the Superman costume, but he's just not revealed himself to the public. He's been very kind of careful as to who he lets see.
Actually, when they were doing the burning and stuff, it wasn't in Smallville. I think it was in
a neighbouring town.
Yeah, I think
it was close enough. Anyway, it was close enough to get. You know, if he was seen, he'd be like, oh. So yeah.
So what was also interesting about this scene is that Luthor has a way to track Kryptonians, or at least can detect when they're flying because of the projectile.
Oh yeah,
well, I think it said it followed it because he was flying in the manner of a Kryptonian, so that sets us apart from a helicopter, an airplane, a drone, or anything else. And then there were two of them, and I thought this was interesting. Him chasing in the car. And I want to know more about that AI. Whatever Earth he's from has got to be more advanced than
it's just an advanced version of Alexa.
Well, I know, but it was like, if you keep heading straight on this thing, I've predicted their exact path and pattern and every choice these two Kryptonians are going to make. So if you just keep here, you'll run into them there. I'm like, what? Wow, what if they deviate?
I was amazed.
Yeah, I thought that.
I was amazed
I thought
keep up
Hey,
in the car
Brian,
at all. Like,
the lady who does the AI voice is the granddaughter of Thora Heard. So there's a bit of a.
Did not know that.
What were you saying, Nicole?
I was surprised they could keep up in the car. Like, I thought they fly so fast. You know, they could be in the next county. I guess they weren't going.
Yeah, and I had the
far,
same.
But then.
That's all. I had the same idea.
Yeah, and then he's able to shoot him. I don't know what he shot them with. Just a.
It looked like
missile.
red sun. Like it was not just any normal blast because it was red. And my interpretation, I could be wrong, but I felt like maybe it exploded a little bit of red sun radiation, which knocked them out of the sky. Because he knows everything
something
about
happened there.
Yeah.
We know a lot about Kryptonians.
We have another clip here.
Here we go.
No, you can't. I'm already dead.
Wait!
Oh,
Iron Man 3, anyone?
Yeah, I did think Iron Man 3, 100%.
Yeah.
Did he kill himself?
That's what I was wondering. Did he
Was
close
it just
his
the
eyes
radiation?
on purpose?
No,
I feel like he just.
He did it himself. He just went.
So I feel like it was
coming over him.
Yeah, he felt it coming over him. I feel like he realised he was too far away from that machine that he went into earlier, and he could feel himself bubbling over. And it's like it's too late. I'm already dead. It's like,
now let's talk about that.
I don't know. I thought he blew himself up to destroy the evidence.
Yeah, that would make sense. To destroy the evidence to make sure he can't be questioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian's laughing, but yeah, definitely destroying the evidence. Yeah.
It's just he just said he blew himself off.
Oh, blew himself up. Sorry.
Where is your head tonight, Brian?
I've had very little sleep the past few days. Seriously.
Oh man! But I'm curious about this MRI machine, right? Because it's an MRI machine that is connected to what I presume is X-kryptonite, but it's that orb, that ball that he got that came down in that meteor shower. And so here we have a meteor connected to an MRI machine, and it's either giving humans Kryptonian powers so they can be possessed, or I mean, like, what is this crazy machine? Is this what's giving them abilities?
I personally, I think it's just holding the human bodies together, because if my theory is correct, which is that these are Kryptonian kind of phantoms going into human bodies. If you remember the effect that had on Jonathan Kent in Smallville, just having those powers for
it was bad.
A few moments.
Gave him a heart attack. Didn't hurt anybody else.
Yeah.
Hurt Jonathan.
So you need to do something with that human. If you're a Kryptonian and you're going to inhabit a human body, you need to do something to strengthen that human body so it can cope with having your powers. And I feel like that's what that machine is. I feel that's just theorizing. I could be totally off base, but that's what I'm guessing at the moment.
Yeah. I think that's a good theory because that was a very interesting reveal. And the fact that evil Supergirl, Leslie or whatever her name is, stayed behind because Derek said protect the asset. So we know this thing is of crucial importance. And for some reason, it was brought to Smallville. Is that how much she loves to kissy face with Derek, that she was willing to load it up and drive 3 hours or just 45 minutes to go from Metropolis to Smallville to ensure that he had this ability to be healed? So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, no, I thought that's what he's using to turn people into the Phantoms, into these Kryptonian beings. So, he wants it in Smallville because that's where the mines are. Why would you want to have to transport the X-kryptonite all the way to Metropolis?
Good
so I don't
point.
think that it was for her purposes. I think that they're talking about Morgan Edge's plan.
Right, I'm still telling you that Chrissy Beppo gets X-kryptonite on her. She turns bad.
Speaking of Chrissy Beppo getting that, I think that Lana is going to end up in this experiment and going to have some sort of Kryptonian power by the end.
We're going to have another Super Lana.
I just have this feeling because Edge is taking
I
a
was
liking
thinking
to her.
that.
Yeah, Edge likes her. He knows she works for him. I think he's going to go for it. I think she's going to be somewhere down the line an experiment, and she's going to come back with powers and figure out Clark Kent is Superman.
I was thinking that she's going to get caught up in this experiment. Now, I don't know how far that's going to go. I think that I don't think that she's going to be a one-season character. But
probably, yes, because she's getting her, Chrissy Beppo's putting her nose where it doesn't belong now, acting more like Lois Lane. So I agree.
And doing what would Lois do now?
Yep.
No, Beppo doesn't. She's not the kind of character who gets super duped. She's the kind of character who gets killed in the final episode of the first season in cliffhanger. So,
she doesn't she doesn't wear the red shirt of Star Trek.
That's true.
They have a different color one for Superman and Lois.
Well, the blue one.
So, right. So next
all
up.
right. So. The next scene is a family scene where we have Clark who's forgiving Jonathan. He gives him, this is your one chance. Your one get out of jail free card. And but he did tell him his story, that he left and he feels bad for losing that time with his mom because he never got that time back because he was in such a hurry to leave off and go to his destiny. And we have this little clip.
Jonathan, you have your own path. And it might not feel like it right now, but I know it's going to lead to great things. All I'm asking is that you give Smallville a little more time.
Now, here's the one thing I don't like about that scene. I love the free pass. I love Clark expressing, Jonathan, I get where you are 110%. All of that, golden. Great father-son moment. But they missed an opportunity. And Smallville did it in season 4 when he married Alicia, when he was under Red K. And Martha really hammered into him, I thought we taught you how sacred marriage is. And it became this incredible moral foundation for Clark. And I'm glad he gave his son the free pass. I just wish they did something else in this scene closer to that, where they brought up the alcohol. Do not start this pattern in your life.
Yeah,
I feel like if he did it again, they would. But I get what you're saying.
True.
Maybe that's just not where they were going in this particular episode.
And that's not where they were going.
I just think that with this one in particular, there's a lot more understanding that is needed towards Jonathan because of everything that he's going through and everything that's on top of him. And I feel like this would be the more appropriate response in this case. Like if everything was going pretty well in Jonathan's life, if he was the star quarterback and he was hanging out with mates and then he decided to get drunk because it's like, hey, maybe the fame's going to his head. I think that's the time when you sit down and you have the conversation you're talking about, where you say, actually, I thought we raised you better than this, and you're doing well at the moment.
So while I think you have to be careful, but here's the thing. It's also kind of a dangerous thing to go to alcohol when you're in a bad place emotionally, right? Because I feel like a lot of drunks, that's when they reach for it.
Yeah.
There are some people that just do it to party and then it goes, there's that part. But someone like Kyle, right? I mean, he went to because he was in a bad place emotionally. So it is a good opportunity to talk about it. But I think that there was just so many other things they were trying to get across that maybe that wasn't.
And what they did get across was good. So I don't knock that scene at all. Like I said, it's a great father-son scene. And again, the flashbacks really show that Clark knew what he was talking about. We get to see Clark's one regret. Even though his destiny was good and it's not a bad thing he went and did it, we get to see, like, he's got this one regret. So, Jonathan, give this place a little bit longer.
Yeah. So then we have Clark and Lois talking about what happened with Derek. And they're wondering what's going on with all that, just like we are.
Yep.
There's definitely something up. And then we have a little scene where we find out that it looks like they come back to the Harvest Festival, or the Harvest Festival must be more than just one day, a weekend thing. And this is the part where they use the donations, and Morgan Edge came in to say what a great guy he is, and he replaced
pulled a Lex Luthor.
all the donations, even though it was his fault that they all got burned, but they don't know that. So
bought all those school computers, yes.
Yeah. So that's not good. No, that's not good at all. And then we have this nice little tribute to Martha that they do. We have a nice clip for this.
And she was always there when you needed her. Everyone in Smallville can remember her sitting right here, talking with and laughing with whoever was right there beside her.
That is a great little moment. I did enjoy that.
I like this Lana.
I do too. I do too.
I like this Lana. She feels like a very real person to me.
Well, they're not doing Lana drama. She's a cool character, and I'm positive she's going to end up with powers by the end of this season. You had it ready. I love it. Yeah. I've been good, Brian. I've been good.
So then we have a little flashback of Clark. They were sitting on that same bench, and he's remembering when he said goodbye to his mom and went off on the bus or the train and left Smallville. And he must have gone up and went to the fortress, because we see him as an early Superman in the pilot, and he definitely looks a lot older. So he must have spent a lot of time training.
I'm guessing it's like Superman the movie, because he did it in the chapter in the DVD is called 12 Years Tutelage. So he goes there for 12 years. So I'm guessing maybe that's what he did.
Yeah, I would imagine he's put that red kryptonite into the ship, and then the ship has told him where to go from there, I guess. So.
Yep.
We might get to see that as the season.
Tonight, it's a glowing crystal.
Yeah, there's a lot of ambiguity there about where he went.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure we'll see that.
Maybe we'll find out more.
Yeah, as the series goes on, they'll probably do more flashbacks. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just saying that he was selfish, that, and that his mom. But Lois says, well, your mom just wanted you to be happy. And there was someone watching Lois and Clark.
Who could that be? Watching Lois and Clark. Like a weirdo in the shadows.
And then this happens.
About her is the same. Everything except she married someone else.
Come back to me.
I always did.
There's our love triangle.
But you know what's interesting? You remember this strong connection he was trying to forge with Sam Lane, and it felt like he was doing whatever he could to break through because there was a connection there. And it's not just because they fought together. That's his daddy-in-law.
Yeah.
Daddy-in-law.
Yep.
So he knows him very well.
Very well, yes.
It's not an unprecedented thing either to have some kind of romantic relationship between Luthor and Lois, because we look back through comic book history before Superman kind of came to town. It's been written quite a few times that Lois was somebody that Luthor was chasing, and if you look at the Adventures of Superman from the 90s,
she almost married him in that
one. She pretty much did, didn't she, in the last episode?
That's right.
And of the first season, I mean. But yeah, so that is something that is there in the history. Just for anyone who might be thinking, oh, really? That just wouldn't happen. And of course, it is on a parallel universe. So it's on his world, that's what happens. So yeah,
I'm still questioning: is that Superman evil over there, or what are they actually fighting against? And what side did Luthor's side with? Like, I'm curious about all of that.
Yeah. I just want to know how he got there. I want to know what obviously something to do with the crisis, but I want to know how did he end up there but nobody else did from his planet,
and does he know Clark Kent is Superman? Like, has he put that 2 and 2 together yet?
It doesn't seem like it. No,
it doesn't.
I would say that was a definite no.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Because he did know wherever Lois goes, Superman follows. But
yes, he said Superman follows. He sees her with Clark and doesn't say, "Oh, there's Superman." He
gives a look though. He gives a look that could be like.
I guess we'll find out after this break.
I don't know what that looks. But yeah, so we'll see.
So we've got a 6-week break. What's everyone going to watch in the
Well,
7
weeks. We've still got a couple of scenes here.
Yeah, we have 2 scenes here. All right, so let's finish this up. So we have Jordan and Sarah, which they're sitting as far away as they possibly can from each other on the porch, which is symbolic to what's going to happen next.
Reminds me of Bruce Wayne and Vicky Vale in the Tim Burton '89 Batman when they sat at that table. Could you pass the salt?
What?
And let's see what happens to Jordan on this porch.
I know that I asked you out on the date only to completely and totally ruin it, but I think I could really just use a friend more than anything else.
Oh, the friend zone.
Not the friend zone. No. She might as well be wearing a green kryptonite necklace.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, man.
At least Jordan is in good spirits about it. Like, well, I still get to hang out with her, so good for you, Jordan, for having that naive yet positive view of the situation. Oh, the friend zone.
He's still new to whole dating thing, isn't he? So.
Yep.
Yeah, and probably girls in general. So he's be happy to be her friend. I get the only motivation I could think of that she's having is that she's just not in a good place herself to be in a relationship. She doesn't want to add more drama onto her life. That's all I was thinking.
It makes sense to me. It does.
About.
And her motivation made sense, which is why I didn't make fun of it on my channel, because it's like, yeah, her motivation makes a lot of sense for all that she's going through. So it's still good for Jordan because she's keeping Jordan in the orbit, but it does suck to get friend zoned.
This situation happened to me though, so it was like, obviously I'm not bothered because now I'm married with kids and it's all great. But back in the day, I had a major thing for this girl, and I could tell that she had a major thing for me. There was some real chemistry there. We did a lot of flirting and stuff in the place where we worked. And when the opportunity came, I asked her out, and she said yes. And when we went out on this date, it suddenly became apparent at some point that actually it wasn't a date, and it was just this really kind of. It was just like that moment then, and it's like, oh man, that sucks. That so sucks.
I asked out a girl once, and she brought her friend on the date, who happened to be a guy. That sucked.
Oh man, that's like takes suckage to a whole new level, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
But yeah, so I feel for Jordan.
How would you feel if you liked a girl, you got friend zoned, and then she married your best friend?
Oh. That was a knock.
Did that happen?
That's what I did.
Oh, the real life revelations coming out. Oh. Grace, forgiveness, grace.
Yeah.
We're still best friends today. I will say that. And he's married now, but I'm just saying that's exactly what happened.
Shocking. So are you the one that married his best friend, or is? Yeah.
That's what. Yes, what she's saying. That's exactly what she's saying.
Oh, that's. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We will be back next time. Me, Durban, and Lisa. Nicole won't be joining us next time. Adios.
Oh man.
Okay, one final scene.
This cliffhanger.
Jordan is attacked by none other than what's his face? TikTok. What's his name? I'm crap with names.
Me too.
Oh, and he's got a suit on, hasn't he?
He has.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's been X-Men'd up.
He's escaped from the.
He's from the Xavier's School for the Gifted, as we found out last episode.
X-Men left Marvel. They're like, we're done over here. We're done with Fox.
Yeah.
We're going DC.
Taking the multiverse to a whole new level. Anyway, here it is.
What did you do to me?
What?
Julie!
Hey man, wait.
That is a first class costume. That is X-Men first class, big time.
It is. My God.
He has escaped from Xavier's School for Gifted Children.
Yes, he has.
Big time. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. You know what I was thinking? If it was a watch, he could have called his dad already. You're just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
Oh man, that would have been so great. Just mercenary X84. How cool would that have been if Tag came up, punched Jordan, and then said this: "Tag, you're it."
That really would have been great. Oh,
end of the episode.
God.
Fade to black. Boom. See you next week.
Did everyone play Tag, Eric, when you were in school?
Not like that. I didn't. Right. So, final wrap-ups
so
and grades.
7 weeks now.
Oh, 7 weeks.
And apparently they're going woke or broke, so I keep hearing. Look, I've not got that far in Supergirl yet, so I don't really know how woke it gets or whether people are just overreacting. But apparently, Supergirl.
Well, all
is gonna
those
be filling
shows
that
have
void.
gone broke by going so woke. So
Right,
it doesn't surprise
okay.
me if they say that's what they're going to do with this.
Right. Yeah. It is a shame if that's the case, but yeah. I don't really get why they're pulling Superman and Lois off, only to put another Superman-related show in there.
So I made fun of somebody on Facebook, and then the Facebook page responded and said they didn't finish filming the episode, so they have to. So it's the 7 weeks, so they could finish out season 1 and have it ready.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
there was a COVID-related incident on set. That's why
Right.
they did it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, one last thing which I've mentioned before is the guy who played young Clark also played young Sam Winchester.
Who's that?
Supernatural. In Supernatural.
I need to see that.
No, it's too long, man. 15 seasons. Give me a break. Come on.
Went on for too long.
Flipping heck.
No,
You don't have to watch.
But
all
everybody
15
watched
seasons,
Smallville, but not Supernatural.
I dipped
Brian.
out.
You
at
could
five.
watch
I got
just
to.
the first 5 seasons.
I did watch the first 5 seasons, and then that was it. I was out. I was just like, well, as soon as all the angels and stuff started coming into it, and they started playing with all the Christian mythology and stuff and bending things, and I was just like, no, I'm done now. It's just like it's disappearing up its own ass. To be honest.
I got offshore to India for like 3 months, and Supernatural were on every night on HBO, on Indian TV.
So you got caught up on it there.
Yeah, so I watched it.
I was really into it. I really was. Like most of the crew that's on that were crew from the X-Files, and it has a very X-Files feel to it. There's shots in that show that that Kim Manners was a director on both shows, and he literally steals shots that he'd already done in the X-Files. But I loved that show for the first 3 seasons. It was great. It really was. And then like around the 4th, 5th season, it just started to get a little bit convoluted. And then by the time we get to the end of the 5th season, I was like, oh man, this is going to be one of them shows that they're just not going to know when to quit. And clearly I was right, because it went on for 15 seasons, but there you go. But anyway, wrap-ups on this episode of Superman and Lois before we hit the 1 hour 45 minute mark. Lisa, go first. Give us your final thoughts on the episode and your grade out of 5.
I'd probably go for a 4.
Okay.
Or, I don't know. Maybe shouldn't I go for a 4 or no? Because there was bits of it that I preferred from the last season. Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't see any Smallville actors in this episode. But
Well, technically you did, because that woman reappeared who played
that's
Maggie
true.
Sawyer. So
yeah,
Maggie Sawyer came
I
back.
mean that was in the original series.
Yeah.
But I have watched the pilot again today, and I've seen 3 Smallville actors in it. So I'll share that with you later.
Nicole?
4.
4.
Solid 4
Okay.
for me.
I'm going to go with a solid 4 as well.
Which brings me to a solid 2.5. No, 4. I'm 4. I'm 4. Calm down. No, 4. 4 for me. I really liked it. It was good.
It's a good cliffhanger for going away for 7 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
That just happened to be. They got lucky on that, or what?
Yeah,
Did they just
I'm
pick-
assuming they got lucky, because it seems like they didn't intend for a 7-week break.
Yeah.
Or did they take a clip from another episode that they had started filming and
That's what I
stick
was
it in
wondering.
there to make it a cliffhanger?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it from us anyway. We will be back definitely after the 7-week break with more Superman and Lois. Hopefully before then with another episode.
Smallville.
Yes, hopefully before then with another episode of Smallville. There is is the Facebook group set up now, Lisa?
We're gonna change it.
I just heard a cat. I asked a question and then it's just like meow, meow. Is the Facebook group set up?
It will be tomorrow. Sorry.
Right. Okay. So there will be a Facebook group for the Wall of Weird podcast set up. So please head on over to that. It'll be a page. Yeah, it'll be a page. Okay. So yeah, check that out as and when it's up. And please join us before the 7-week hiatus. I'm sure we will manage to fit an episode of Smallville in there. We will get a vote going somewhere. I don't know where. We don't have a community tab yet on our YouTube channels. We might have to do it on mine and Durbin's channels. Who knows? Yeah. Thanks for watching. I need to find my branding so I can go out smoothly like I did with the opening where we came in smoothly.
Right. We're already doing good being smooth right now as you're searching and stalling while you try to find it. Yeah.
So smooth.
Yes, it's so great.
Yeah, smooth like Charlie Chaplin on a banana peel. It's got to be said.
In fact, I love your jumper. Are you sure you've not got it from Aquaman?
This is an Asda special. This is Walmart, people. Right. Anyway. Where's my outro? There it is. Goodbye, folks.